Now, the working principle of a binary coded GA, I have discussed in details and I hope all of you got the idea. Now, I'm just going to solve one maximization problem through hand calculation just to show you the working principle of this binary coded genetic algorithm. Now, after seeing this particular hand calculation, I'm more than sure all of you will be able to write a code for the binary coded GA. And the working principle will be made crystal clear and you'll be getting 100% information regarding this particular the genetic algorithm. How does it work? Now, the problem which I'm going to take is very simple. Maximize y equals to square root of x. Subject to the condition x is lying between 1 and 16. What is the optimal value, maximum value? All of you know. This is nothing but square root of 16. That is nothing but 4.0. So the solution is known to us. Okay. Now I'll show you how does a binary coded genetic algorithm start with the initial population selected at random and gradually it moves towards that particular the globally maximum solution, that is nothing but 4.0. All of you listen to me very carefully, okay, and I hope it will be made 100% clear to all of you. So I know the solution. Let us see how does a binary coded GA moves towards the globally optimal solution. Now here, the reproduction scheme which I am going to use is the oldest one, that is your proportionate selection or the ruler wheel selection. And the crossover which I am going to use is a single point crossover. And I am going to use bitwise mutation with the probability say small value say 0.03. Okay. And I'm going to use the probability of crossover PC equals to 1.0. And for simplicity, I have taken the population size, that is capital N, that is equals to 6. And I'm using 6 bits to represent each of the variable. Okay. How to decide the number of bits? Mathematically, I've already discussed in detail. Okay. So I think the problem is clear to all of you. I hope there is no doubt regarding the problem statement. Now what we do is the genetic algorithm will generate the initial population at random. Now there are 6 solutions in the population and to represent one solution, I'm using 6 bits. So what is the total number of bits? The total number of bits will be 6 multiplied by 6, that is your 36. Okay. So here in the population, the initial population, which is generated at random, has got 36 bits. Okay. Now once you've got this particular first GST, that is 100101, I hope all of you know how to find out the decoded value. Now to repeat, I have already discussed, to repeat, the place value for this rightmost bit is 2 raised to the power 0, that is 1. From right side, the second bit, the place value is 2 raised to the power 1. Third, 2 raised to the power 2. Fourth, 2 raised to the power 3. Fifth, 2 raised to the power 4. Sixth, 2 raised to the power 5. These are all place values. And all of you know how to determine the decoded value for this binary. For example, the decoded value for the first is 37. For the second, it is 26. For the third, it is 22. Fourth, 58. Then fifth, 44. Sixth, 30. I hope all of you are in a position to determine the decoded values for this particular solution, the binary strings. And once you've got this particular decoded value, you'll have to use the linear mapping rule, which I've already discussed. If you remember, x1 real is nothing but x1 minimum plus x1 maximum minus x1 minimum divided by 2 raised to the power L minus 1 multiplied by the decoded value. That is the linear mapping rule. Now using this particular the linear mapping rule, I can find out what should be the real value corresponding to this decoded value. Corresponding to 37, all of you please calculate whenever you get time. So you'll be getting 9.81. Similarly, corresponding to 26, 7.19, 22, 6.24, 58, 14.81, 44, 11.48, 13, 4.09. So these are the real values for this particular the variable. And once you have got the real values of the variable, very easily can find out what should be the fitness value or the value of the objective. Square root of 9.81 is 3.13. Then comes your square root of 7.19 is 2.68. Square root of 6.24 is 2.50. Square root of 14.81, 3.85. Here you will be getting 3.39. Here you will be getting 2.02. So this is nothing but the fitness information for the whole population. And once you've got the fitness information for the whole population, I can find out what is the sum of fitness. The sum of fitness is nothing but 17.57. The average fitness, that is 17.57 divided by 6 is 2.93. And the maximum fitness, if you compare, 3.85 is the maximum in the population. So the maximum fitness is 3.85. Okay. Now, once you've got this fitness information, you can implement the proportionate selection or the ruler wheel selection. And according to this proportionate selection, probability of selection is nothing but Fi divided by the sum of all F values, the sum of the fitness values. So 3.13 divided by 17.57 is 0.18. For the second solution, the probability is 0.15. Third solution, 0.14. Fourth solution, 0.22. Fifth solution, 0.19. Sixth solution, 0.12. And if you sum them up, the probability values, this will become 1.0. Please check. Now, I'm going to define one term that is called the expected count. Now, this expected count is nothing but Fi divided by F bar. F bar is nothing but the average fitness. Okay. Now, by this expected count, we mean how many times the first string is going to be copied in the mating pool probabilistically. It may not be true, but it is probabilistic estimate. Now this is found to be 1.07. The first string, its expected count in the mating pool is 1.07. Might be the first string will be copied only once. For the second string, the expected count is 0.91. Might be it will be copied only once. Third string, the expected count is 0.85. There is no guarantee it may not be copied also in the betting pool. The fourth one, 1.31. Fifth one, 1.16. Sixth one is 0.69. So there is no guarantee that your sixth solution will be copied in the mating pool. So there is no guarantee. Now, these are all expected count. calculated using the information of fitness and the average fitness. But the actual count could be slightly different. And as I told, that this is the probabilistic estimate, but the actual count could be slightly different. Okay, actual count could be 1, 1, 0, 2, 2, 0. That means the first GST is going to be copied only once. This is the first GST. And I'm just going to show you the mating pool. The second GST will be copied only once. The third GST will not be copied at all. The fourth GST is going to be copied twice. The fifth GST is going to be copied twice. And the sixth one is not yet copied. Okay, once again, the population size of this particular mating pool is equal to 6. I think I'm clear up to this. How to implement the proportionate selection or the Rule wheel selection to get this particular the mating pool. And once you've got this particular mating pool, now I'll have to find out 6 by 2, that is 3 mating pairs. And once again, the mating pair selection will be done at random using the random number generator. Now I'm just going to find out with the first GST who is going to mate. Now using the random number generator, supposing that it is found that it is going to meet with the third one. That means first is going to meet with third, third is going to meet with first. Okay. So here what we do is in the parent solution, the first one I put 100101, 100101. Third one I put 111010, 111010. So these two will constitute the first mating pair. Then next you concentrate here. The second string is going to meet with 6. 6 is going to meet with the second. Okay. So sixth one. So this 2 is going to meet with 6. So you copy this second one, that is 011 010 011 010. After that you going to copy the sixth one 101100. Okay. Then the fourth one is going to meet with fifth. Fifth is going to meet with fourth. So what you do is this one you copy, okay, and this one you copy it here. So I'll be getting the first mating pair, second mating pair, and third mating pair. So from these 6 GST, I've got 3 mating pairs, 3 parents, set of parents, which are selected at random using the random number generator. Now, once you've got the mating pair, now you concentrate on the first mating pair. Now, whether it is going to participate in crossover, that has to be checked using the concept of your probability of crossover. Now, here I have taken the probability of crossover as 1.0. That means all 3 mating pairs are going to participate in crossover. Okay, so here all 3 mating pairs are going to participate. So this is the first mating pair, second mating pair, and third mating pair. And once you've got this particular mating pair, now I'll be going for, say, single point crossover. There are 6 bits, so there are 5 places for crossover site selection. For the first parent, this is the crossover site selection. Second parent, this is the crossover site selection. Third parent, this is the crossover site selection. And once you have selected this particular crossover site, now in single point crossover, all of you know, the left side will remain intact in the child solution, children solution, and there will be swapping on the right hand side. So whatever is there at the bottom, that has gone to the top. Whatever is there at the top, that has gone to the bottom. Then comes your second mating pair. This is the crossover side. So I'll be getting these two children solution. Then comes your the third pair, and this is actually your children solution. This is the crossover side, and this will be the children solution. So we have got 6 children solution. Okay. So till now we have discussed how to implement the proportionate selection, that is the ruler wheel selection, and single point crossover. Now I'll tell you how to implement this particular the bitwise mutation operator. Now you listen to me. The probability of mutation has been assumed to be equal to 0.03, and there are 36 bits. Like 6 bit in each GA string, there are 6 such GA string. Total 36, that is the number of bits. So 36 multiplied by 0.03, that is 1.08. That means out of these 36 bits, there is a possibility that mutation will come only for 1 bit probabilistically. How to check? Once again, let me repeat. You concentrate on the first bit. Here, do the coin tossing with the probability of appearing head, and this probability is 0.03. If head appears, that is a success. That means the mutation will be taking place. 1 will be converted to 0, and 0 will be converted to 1. Once it has been checked in the first bit position, then you concentrate on the second bit position and you repeat the process. And I have already told how to implement in computer program. It is very simple. Use one random number generator which will generate a number lying between 0 and 1.0. If it generates a number less than equals to 0.03, that will be a success. If it is a success, mutation will be taking place, and if there is a mutation, 1 will be converted to 0 and 0 will be converted to 1. Now following the similar procedure at each of the bit position, we'll have to check. Now supposing that, so I've checked all the bit position and it is a failure, but here there is a success. That means mutation will occur at this particular bit. That means previously we had 0 here, so that particular 0 will be converted to 1, shown as red. Okay, and that particular change has come due to the mutation. And once you have got the whole population after the mutation, once again we can evaluate their fitness information. How to do? Once again you find out the decoded value for the GA string. Okay, so these are the decoded values like 42, 53, 28, 58, 60, 42, and so on. Okay, and its corresponding x value from the value of the variable, the real value, you can find out using the linear mapping rule, like 11.00, 13.62, 7.67, 14.81, 15.28, 11.00. And once you've got this particular, the values of the variables, very easily you can find out the fitness. That is nothing but square root of x. So square root of 11 is 3.32, 3.69, 2.77, and so on. Once again, you can find out the sum of the fitness values. Then average of the fitness values also you can find out sum divided by 6. And the maximum value of fitness you can find out as 3.91. So this is the maximum fitness. If you remember, for the initial population, the maximum was 3.85, if you remember. This was 3.85. Okay. And now you see, after the one iteration of GA, the maximum value has improved to 3.91. Okay. And what is the globally optimal solution? The globally optimal solution is 4.0. So starting from 3.85, it has come up to 3.91. And its aim is to reach that 4.0. So this completes actually one iteration or one generation of a genetic algorithm. And this process will go on and go on for a large number of iterations. And it is going to reach that particular globally optimal soon after a few iterations. And once it has reached that globally optimal solution, after that, that will be kept intact and globally optimal solutions will be found out. I hope that the working principle of a binary coded GA, that is BCGA, is clear to all of you. And let me repeat, so this binary coded GA is also known as the simple genetic algorithm or SGA. And this is actually the oldest genetic algorithm. There are some recent genetic algorithms. Some of those I'll be discussing little bit, but so much time is not there. This is not a course only on optimization. So I'll give you the hints, but because there are some other components of this particular course, and those members are equally strong, and I'll have to spend equal time on those family members of soft computing also.
Sir,
Okay. Please.
sir, can you just tell me how the parent selection is coming from the mating pair column?
Mating pair column, just a minute, let me go back. Now, you see, this is what? This is the first GS string in the mating pool. Okay. Now, once I've selected this particular first, I've got the remaining how many? These 5 solutions. Out of these 5, I'll have to select any one at random. Are you getting my point? If you mark, I'm trying to find out who could be the pair for the first. So the remaining 5, out of this remaining 5, I'll have to select one. You temporarily mark as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generate a number starting from 1 and 5 using the random number generator. If it generates 3, you select the third one, that is this one. Are you getting my point? Next, you concentrate on this. And the string which have been already selected, okay, those things please do not select again. From the remaining, once again, use random number generator to find out who could be the mating pair. This is the way actually this mating pair is selected at random using the random number generator. Okay, there are several ways.
Sir.
Please.
Sir, for example, in the first time, the highest value of the fitness was 3.85, and in the second, at the end of the first generation, it's 3.91. So, yes. Sir, again, when we'll do the second generation, sir, is there a guarantee that it will increase or it may decrease also the highest value?
Very good question. What we do is, whatever solutions we are getting at the end of the first iteration, that will be the starting for the second iteration. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Let me repeat. Whatever solutions after the mutation we are getting at the end of first, that will be the starting for the second. Initial population is not generated once again at random. That particular solution, whatever I got at the end of the first iteration, will be carried forward to the beginning of the second iteration. So there is more or less a guarantee that I'll be getting this 3.91. Okay, even if we do not get due to this operator, particularly for the mutation, whatever we got first, that is 3.91, we'll store it Supposing that in third iteration, very unfortunately, I'm getting the best solution having fitness, say 3.87. This is very hypothetical. But so at the end of second, I am getting 3.87. But at the end of first, I got 3.91. So this 3.91 will be carried forward. That will be kept in the fixed deposit. That will not be lost. Are you getting my point? I hope I'm clear.
Sir, and from this initial population of 6, from how many pairs we are selecting them the most
From the 6,
fit?
From 6, there will be only 3 pairs because in one mating pair, there will be 2 solutions. For example, if the population size is 100, there will be 50 pairs. Now, all 50 pairs may not participate in crossover. Whether it will participate in crossover, that will be decided by your crossover probability. Generally, it is taken to a high value, like say 0.8, 0.9. If it is selected as 0.8, that means 80% of the mating pair are going to participate. So if there are 50 such mating pairs from a population size of 100, so 50 multiplied by 0.8, that is 40. So on an average, the 40 pairs are going to participate in crossover out of 50. And those who are not participating in crossover, their solutions will be directly copied as the children's solution, previous solution. Okay? Tell me. Any doubt?
Sir,
One at a time.
Sir, how can we decide the optimal number of generations? How many generations to use?
I'm going to discuss. Just wait a little bit. After a few minutes, I'm going to discuss. Okay?
Okay.
Have you understood the working principle of binary coded GA? Can you give me the certificate that I'm able to give you 100% information?
Sir, here you said that PC was 1, so we can say that all the 6 members have participated.
Yes, all the
from
3
the
pairs.
So can you just tell me the column of the Roulet count?
Column of the Roulet count, actually that is the probabilistic count, expected count. Okay? And actual count cannot be the fraction, no. So in place of 1, you can see I have selected actual count is 1. Then the second is 0.91. I have given 1. Then comes your expected count is 0.85, but the actual count is what? 0. Is not copied at all because expected count is what? Probabilistic value. It is not deterministic. So we may get, may not get. Probability is what? Probability means it is a method of uncertainty modeling. No, one of the methods. Okay. Probability has got no guarantee. Are you getting my point? So this is the way, this is the expected count, and this is actually your actual count. Okay. Please spend some time on this. Please.
Sir, in the actual count for the third string, you have assigned the actual count to be 0. Okay.
Yes.
Sir, in this way, means in the second string, the probability was 0.91 and in the third string, it was 0.85. So can it happen the reverse way? Means in the second, it is 0.
Reverse may also happen because if you remember that the Roulet wheel selection, here I am using Roulet wheel selection. At the top surface, there is a marking according to the fitness. So the area occupied by a particular solution is proportional to its fitness. Now I'm just rotating the Roulet wheel either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, if I give the spinning, you wait a little bit, and there is a fixed pointer. You do not know where does it stop. If it stops in front of F1, F1 will be selected. Now, if the area of F1 is more compared to that of F2, the probability that F1 will be selected, definitely it will be more. Okay. So this is the way actually we determine.
Sir,
Okay.
could you explain that mutation column, sir? Hello?
Mutation actually what we do is at each of the bit position, so we carry out the bitwise mutation with the probability, low probability of 0.03. Okay. Now what we do
Yes.
is at the first bit position, we do the coin tossing with a probability of 0.03. If it is found to be a success, so we implement that particular mutation. If it is a failure, we do not implement that. Okay. So at each of the bit position, we just go on checking. Are you getting my point? And supposing that
Yes, sir.
here it is found to be success. So this particular 0 is converted to 1. Okay. I think I'm clear to all of you. Can I proceed further?
Sir,
And sir,
Ah,
sir,
please.
one more thing, the crossover side, sir, is there any fixed number of position for all the mating pair? Means for first and to
No,
even
no,
choosing
no.
the second
There
position?
is no fixed. This here I'm showing you one iteration through hand calculation. All such things are done at random using the random number generator. Just to show you a feasible solution, I selected at random. Okay, this is
Sir,
at random. Betting pair
so
selection is at random. Only thing you'll have to be careful while getting the betting pair. So corresponding to the first one, I'll have to select only one out of the remaining. It cannot be the same for the first one. You cannot take the first one. So out of the remaining 5, you have to take any one using the random number generator. This is the method. Okay. So I'm just going to proceed further. Okay. Okay. Once again, let me come back to the concept of the population diversity and selection pressure. Population diversity is nothing but exploration, and selection pressure is nothing but exploitation. I have already mentioned, if the population diversity is more, if the exploration is more, there could be stagnation. Okay. And that particular stagnated solution may not be good. Are you getting my point? On the other hand, if the selection pressure is more, exploitation could be more. You will be getting the success for the time being, but there could be local minima problem. There could be some sort of premature convergence. Those things I've already discussed in detail. Same is true for genetic algorithm. Now, if you want to certify the genetic algorithm search, you'll have to certify, you'll have to ensure a proper balance between population diversity and selection pressure. That is nothing but a proper balance between exploration and exploitation. Now, how to keep a proper balance in the genetic algorithm between this exploration and exploitation? There are many studies on this genetic algorithm, how to keep a proper balance between exploration and exploitation. Now, some people have tried with regression analysis. They used different sets of input parameters for the genetic algorithm, like what should be the probability of crossover, what should be the probability of mutation, what should be the population size, what should be the maximum number of generation. So with different combination of these parameters, they ran GA, got the optimal solution, and after that, they tried to carry out some sort of regression analysis. Through the regression analysis, they tried to find out output of the GA solution as a function of its input parameters. And accordingly, they decided the optimal GA parameter. I will be discussing one very efficient method which we generally follow, and I have also put in my textbook And that method I'm going to tell you, and it is a very simple method, but that is an approximate method. Okay. Now, before I discuss, so this particular the graphs, set of graphs, let me tell you a few facts regarding the genetic algorithm. Now, the quality of the genetic algorithm, the solution, quality of the solution depends on a number of parameters like probability of crossover denoted by PC, probability of mutation denoted by PM, then comes the population size denoted by capital N, maximum number of generation, that is Gmax, and so on. Okay. Now let us try to understand the grammar of the genetic algorithm and how can you set the optimal parameters knowing the grammar of the genetic algorithm. I have heard from many people, they say your genetic algorithm doesn't work. Are you getting my point? Now, the reason why they are saying that your genetic algorithm doesn't work, they do not know how to make it work. They do not know the grammar of the genetic algorithm. If you know the grammar of the genetic algorithm, you'll be able to set the optimal parameters nicely, and genetic algorithm will be able to give you the solution even for a very complicated optimization problem. Only thing, you'll have to learn the grammar of the genetic algorithm and you'll have to set the optimal parameters accordingly. I'm just going to tell you how to set the parameters for the genetic algorithm in the optimal set. Now let me concentrate on the role of PC. I've told you several times that this particular PC, the probability of crossover, it is generally kept to a high value, so starting from 0.6 to 1.0. And it is kept to a high value so that all the parents can participate in crossover and there will be exchange of properties and there will be diversification of the solution. Okay, if there is no diversification, there will be local minima, there could be premature convergence. I will be declaring I am the best in the field, but truly speaking, I am not the best. Are you getting my point? That type of problem will come. Okay, so this probability of crossover has to be a very high value, very near to 1. And it cannot be a low value because if I select PC equals to 0.1, I am allowing only 10% of the parents to participate in crossover. That is not true. Next is the role of mutation. We have already discussed that mutation helps to reach that globally optimal solution. It can throw at least one solution to the global basin. But if it is too high, if the PM is too high, this will become random search method. Already found good solution could be lost, so PM cannot be set to a very high value. On the other hand, if you select a small value for this particular PM, there is every possibility the very purpose of using this particular the mutation will not be solved. You will not be able to find out the globally optimal solution. Are you getting my point? So the PM cannot be too large, it cannot be too small, it has to be in between. Next, you concentrate on the population size. If the population size is small, GA search cannot be proper. There could be a chance of premature convergence. On the other hand, if the population size is very large, so the search will be proper, but at the cost of too much computation. GA will become slow and it will take a long time, a few hours or few days time to give you the globally optimal solution. Next, you concentrate on the maximum number of generation. If the maximum number of generation is set to a very low value, 10 or 20 or something like that, search may not be proper. There could be a chance of premature conversion. On the other hand, if you set the GA max to a very high value, search will be proper, but at the cost of more computation. That means, once again, the maximum number of generations cannot be too small. It cannot be too large also. Are you getting my point? So we'll have to find out the set of optimal GA parameters by carrying out some study, and we call it, this is a parametric study. How to carry out this parametric study? It is very simple. Supposing that we have decided one range for the PC, 0.6 to 1.0, and I am solving one, say, minimization problem. Supposing that there is one minimization problem, and if I use the tournament selection, if you remember the tournament selection, I forgot to tell you, if you use tournament selection, I can directly use genetic algorithm to tackle one minimization problem. That is the thing which I forgot to tell you while discussing the tournament selection. Okay, like on principle, GA can solve the maximization problem. Okay, but if you use the concept of tournament selection, in place of, say, tournament size of 3, the solution which is having the lowest fitness, you select, there is no problem. Okay, so you can solve the minimization problem directly if you use the tournament selection. Okay, supposing that I'm using the tournament selection, so I can solve directly the minimization problem using a binary coded genetic algorithm. Okay, now the range for the PC is set between 0.6 to 1.0. The range for the PM is 1 multiplied by 0.001 to, say, 11 multiplied by 0.001, and the population size is varied from 50 to 150. Maximum number of generation is varied from 50 to 150. Supposing that I have selected their ranges. So within the range of this particular PC, I consider 10 values here, 10 different values of PM, 10 different values of N, 10 different values of this particular Gmax. So what is the total number of combination? A huge number. So 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10, 10 raised to the power 4. That means 10,000. That means to decide the set of optimal GA parameters, you have to run the GA for the same problem 10,000 times. Then only you can find out what should be the set of optimal GA parameters. But that is not a very practical method. So in place of this particular 10,000 runs of GA, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run GA to decide the near optimal set of parameters only for 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 40 times. Okay, each time we vary one parameter and 3 parameters we keep fixed. For example, say first we change the PC value starting from 0.6 to 1.0, and the PM, N and G is the maximum number of generations, are set equal to their mid values. We know their ranges, we can find out their mid values, so we set their values to the mid. Now the PM is kept equal to 0.006, N is kept equal to 100, G is kept equal to 100, PC is varied from 0.6 to 1.0, and this is the fitness plot corresponding to PC equals to 0.9. So we are getting the minimum fitness. So that value of PC, you store it here. PC equals to kept 0.9. Corresponding to 0.9, we have got the minimum. So you keep PC equals to 0.9. Now you vary PM within its range, N is kept equal to 100, G is kept equal to 100. You vary this particular PM. Okay, so you'll be getting the minimum value corresponding to this particular PM, that is 2 multiplied by 0.001. So once you've got this particular optimum value of PM, PC equals to 0.9, PM equals to 0.002, G equals to 100, and the population size I'm going to vary. Corresponding to this, I'm getting the minimum fitness. And after that, if we increase it further, you'll see that there is no improvement. So this is nothing but the optimal value for this particular the population. Okay. And once you've got this optimal value for this particular population, we keep PC equals to 0.9, PM equals to 0.002, and the population size, that is nothing but 110. Corresponding to this 110, we got the minimum solution. So that is kept fixed here. And G max I'm going to vary. You'll see that corresponding to 120, we are getting the minimum solution. After that, there is no improvement of the solution. So the optimal GA parameters will be PC equals to 0.9, PM equals to 0.002, population size is 110, and maximum number of generation is 120. So by following this particular method, you can find out approximately the set of GA parameters. And once you have approximately set the GA parameters, so very easily you can find out, you can use it to determine your optimal solution. GA will try to find out the set of optimal solutions, okay, through a large number of iterations. I hope I'm clear how to determine the set of GA parameters using a parametric study. I hope this is clear to all of you, and this is very simple. So if you want to utilize the genetic algorithm, you'll have to find out the set of optimal GA parameters utilizing the grammar of genetic algorithm. And if you know the grammar of genetic algorithm, and if you can set the optimal parameters properly, there is a possibility your GA will be working and it will be trying to find out the globally optimal solution through a number of iterations. And I'm sure that if you can set the parameters, your GA will be able to reach the global solution within a few iterations. And after then, you will find there is no significant change. And depending on the complexity of this particular problem, okay, so you'll have to set through the parametric study the set of optimal GA parameters. So I hope you have understood how to run GA using the set of optimal GA parameters, how to determine the set of optimal GA parameters. Now, let me stop here today. And before I stop, once again, I'm going to give you the reminder regarding your assignment 1. Please submit your assignment by 15th September. Assignment I've put in your this Microsoft Teams site also. You can get the assignment there. I've already sent it through 2 times through my ERP mail. I'm not going to send it again. It is there in the site of this Microsoft Teams. You can also find out the assignment 1. Submit the assignment by 15th. And if you can submit the assignment by 15th, you'll be getting full weightage. Otherwise, there will be late marking. Okay. And the second assignment, I'm going to give you this particular weekend. Once again, I'm going to send through your ERP mail, and I'm going to put it in this Microsoft Teams site also. Okay. And once again, for the second assignment, you'll be getting 7 days time. Exactly in the same way, you'll have to submit the assignment. Please do not like fail any assignment, submitting assignment, because marks are there. For each assignment, there will be 10 marks. Please don't miss this opportunity. And of course, there will be some test. Okay, if there is any doubt at the beginning of the next class, we can discuss. That means the next class will be tomorrow. So tomorrow at 12, we are going to start. Now with this, I'm just going to stop. But before that, I think one student wants to ask something. You can ask me now. There is no problem. Please go ahead. Please ask me.
Sir,
Tell me.
Sir, do we have to do hand calculation or computer programming for the assignment?
Hand calculation is for your practice. Side by side, if you can do the computer programming, you will be getting 100% confident.
Okay.
Any other query?
sir, myself Saurabh here, sir. I have just registered this course today only because we have
I
got
cannot
admission.
help you. I cannot help you. Assignment 1 has been given and
Yes,
there
sir.
are 10 marks. So you'll have to get the assignment 1. All the video files I have already kept in the MS team. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Assignment
Okay.
1 is also kept there. PPT files are also kept there.
Okay,
You will
sir.
have to do self-study. If there is any problem, we can discuss in the class. No problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But
Okay,
regarding your late register, I'm helpless. I cannot help you. If you want to get the marks, if you want to get the good grades, so backlogs you'll have to clear. Okay.
Okay, no issue, sir. I was just asking about the PowerPoint where it is stored.
All
be-
such things, including video, PPTs, everything I've kept in the MS Microsoft site. Okay, the site
Okay.
from which I'm delivering the lecture. Even assignment
sir.
1 is also there. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Because sir, I am RS, so we have just
Okay.
completed our admission yesterday
you
only.
complete and clear the backlog. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Any
sir,
other
sir,
query? Any other query? Okay, then let me stop here today.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am also not getting any, links to attend the classes.
Now,
So
today, are you able
not
to attend?
any other notification.
Today, are you getting any link? Are you able to connect? I think you are able to connect.
No,
Or-
sir. Since the class has started, there is no video visible for me. So
Anyway, that problem I cannot solve. I'm trying my level best to help all of you. I've kept all the PPTs and your videos in the MS Microsoft Teams site. I've kept everything, including your assignment. So I'm not going to listen to any such excuses. Please.
But I am not been added to the Microsoft Teams.
See, if you have sent me the
For this
request, I've
particular
added
course.
it. Then how can you attend this class if I have not added?
Sir, I approached my classmates to give me the link so that I can join the class.
Did you send any mail? You belong to which group? Soft computing or knowledge-based system?
Sir, soft computing.
Soft computing. Have you registered through ERP?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have
the
you
day
sent,
before yesterday.
So how can I know that you have registered? You send a mail to me, I'll add you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But
Okay, sir.
there is no excuse. You'll have to solve all the assignment tests if you want to get grading.
Okay,
Good
sir.
grade. Okay.
I will do it today itself.
Please do it.
Okay, sir.
Send a mail to me. Okay. I'll
Okay,
take
sir.
care. Okay, I'll take care.
Okay.
Let me stop here today.